place in the world. We live in eastern North Dakota, about midway between South Dakota and the Canadian border. Probably a little closer to Canada than South Dakota, but here we're in the aftermath of winter of 2018-2019. We got a lot of melt going on, and now it's mud season. So anyhow, after following the Tradesman channel and Lasting Build, I've been inspired to kind of pick up and get some shop projects going. At the moment, my wood shop's over in that particular barn, and you can probably see that the snow actually drifted up and over the barn on both the north and the south side. What you're looking at there is the south side of the barn, and this is where we have our garden, and we have a few acres of beautiful black tillable soil out here. But I thought I'd first like to share with you our little mechanic shop. So this is where we keep some of our equipment and do our car maintenance and repairs and whatnot. So yeah, this poor guy dug us out of the last big set of drifts and blew a radiator hose. So there's a lot of maintenance stuff on the list beforehand. But yeah, this is our little shop here. Got our grader in the back over there. Let me swing you around. This is not fantastic camera work because I'm obviously shooting this from a cell phone, and anyhow, and there's the aftermath of the radiator hose blowing after I parked it. So anyhow, this is probably a 90-year-old building, and this is where we keep our tools and our oils and welding and metalworking stuff. This is kind of where we, like I said, do our maintenance and repairs on things there. So dabble in a little bit of metalwork, so mostly ornamental stuff, signage, things like that. And anyhow, we'll walk over to the barn now, and I'll show you my humble little wood shop. So yeah, we had one heck of a winter. I mean, those drifts on that side of the barn have to be at a minimum of 20 feet tall at their peak, and went actually up and over the barn down the other side. I could have rode the snowmobile over. It was pretty crazy this year. Most of the videos that I've uploaded to YouTube so far have been related to repairing small items. I think I have a handful of them. And if I hadn't found anything on YouTube that was in-depth enough for me to get where I needed to go, I thought I would share a little bit more of a tutorial. And I don't know, they've done pretty well, I guess. So anyhow, I thought it'd be neat to start filming and documenting some of the projects that I'm gonna undertake after watching individuals like Jim and Jim do what they do. So anyhow, let's get in here, and it's probably gonna be horrible lighting on the cell phone, but anyhow, there's a little coal stove. Keeps us from dying in the winter. I've got a thickness planer and a scroll saw. There's the old joiner that I just cannot find a maker's mark on it anywhere. And obviously someone has modified it to put that gigantic electric motor in there, but she works really good, except there are some nicks in the knives that need to be replaced. The primary bench is right here, set up for offloading things off the table saw, and got a nice little workspace here. It's pretty cool. What are we sitting at today? 40, that's not bad. Anyhow, my most recent project is I'm building some floating shelves for our pantry. So those will be joined together with splines, and then they attach to the wall with a full-length cleat. Then there'll be a miter cut here going out, and then it'll return back. So there'll be a cleat down the wall there, Then this whole shelf system floats on the wall without any hardware being exposed. And then we attach with screws on the top, and put little caps on there, and it looks pretty dandy. I'm using maple stock for that. I have a lot of my face pieces milled to size here, and yeah, that's all been on hold for a bit now. So anyhow, and then using melamine for the actual shank material rather than painting or going with full hardwood. So Jim at The Lasting Build put on a very neat video with turning out a wood mallet, and I don't know, just completely inspired by that. I thought it would be fun to resurrect this old beast that's been out here. We inherited this when purchasing the property. It is an old Shopsmith. I believe it's a Mark V. It has a bazillion and one attachments that will do everything from being a table saw to joiner to mortiser. Oh goodness, wood turning, sanding, and gosh, I don't know how many other variants are with this particular unit, but it all works, and most of the parts are there. I have the manual inside of a nice binder, and this right here is the joiner attachment for it, though I doubt I will actually get that in service. But there's a number of different tool pieces inside of here, belts, pulleys. The electric motor works. It just needs to be pulled out of this dingy old barn, cleaned up, and I thought it'd be really fun to try some wood turning. I think the old farmer who had it was doing some turning with it, because there's a lot of blanks down here in the bottom of the little stand that he built for it. Something else I thought it'd be fun to share for any other woodworkers out there was the other aspect of this beautiful farm that I inherited, which is this stack of a number of different hardwoods. So in this pile there's white oak, maple, mahogany, walnut, cherry, of all varying thicknesses and widths. There are some very large mahogany boards in here that are, oh goodness, they're 1 inch thick by, I'm gonna guess that that's probably a good 13 inches wide, 13.5 inches wide, and there's a number of them. And this pile is absolutely huge. And this was the actual gem that I found last year that will eventually become a dining room table. So these mahogany boards are 2¼ by 12 by 13 feet long, and they're all rough sawn. I think you can see the mill marks on them. All rough sawn timber. It's absolutely gorgeous when it's finished. And a little boo-boo on my behalf. I don't know if you can see it on the bottom, but this one here runs down. There's a notch cut out of it there and a notch cut out of it there. Before I actually knew what I had here, I built a window frame for the other shop just because of the nominal lumber size was closest in dimension, and I really wanted to get that guy set up with a window before anything. And then after doing a little research and seeing how pricey those boards were, well, I kind of kicked myself a little bit. But yeah, this is quite the large barn. I think it's 28 by 280. So we have there's a boat down there, and like my rotor tiller and gardening tools and stuff are at that end. And then, I don't know, just all kinds of knick-knacky stuff, some really neat antique size and wood saws and old scale. Just a lot of really neat old stuff from back in the day. But yeah, so this is my therapy domain. This is where I come to wind down. I work with foster kids day in and day out on my 9 to 5 job, or rather 8 to 5 job, which is really more like 24/7. But so yeah, little fire and coal in the wood stove, and come out here and get to work with wood. And I'm really good at making sawdust more than anything. But yeah, so this is my little corner of the world that I get things done in. Well, I try to get things done in, but anyhow. And for a bonus, if anybody can identify this old jointer, it's an 8-inch jointer, and the unique setup on the back of this particular joiner is as such. I have not seen another one with this particular configuration on the fence before, but it's a monster, and she cuts good. It's a little rusty, but within this drum assembly, I should probably spin this around. This is the kind of interesting part. The knives are held in with these little keepers, and it's all with hex heads. So there's, well, you can see where I've marked the nicks in the blade so I can move my smaller stock around to get it trued up from rough milling to at least primary dimension before working with it. But I've been dancing around all these nicks and just looking for, I don't know who might have made this. I've seen Rockwell Deltas that are old like this, but typically they'll have the badge right here, which this one does not. And I have scoured this thing looking for a maker's mark and have not found one as such. So anyways, if you perhaps know who makes this particular jointer, that would be fantastic. Not that we couldn't find some knives or remove the other ones and get them sourced. It would just be exceptionally cool to know where this joiner was manufactured, what year it was manufactured, and who the maker is. That would be great. So anyhow, welcome to my little humble workshop here in Eastern North Dakota, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you to all the YouTube creators out there who continue to inspire people like me to get out of the house, get in the shop, make some dust, make a little bit of heat when heat is called for, and create something with our hands. Thank you, and have a great day. God bless you.